India's real estate sector is seeing a revival, but the way property is being sold, especially residential real estate, has undergone a change since the pandemic. CNBC TV 18 Shraddha Tiwari and Arundhati Ramanan report that developers are turning to tech-driven tools called PropTech to drive sales and boost conversion rates.
For years, real estate companies used websites to attract potential customers, their own or platforms that provide property listings. But physical site visits were an integral part of the selling process. This started changing a few years ago, with some developers offering online tours of their projects. The pandemic sped up this adoption of technology, and companies now offer a lot more. From virtual tours to interactive, immersive virtual reality experiences to extended reality simulations. They give aspiring homeowners a sneak peek into what living in the finished project will actually feel like.
Technology, which about a decade back was used only for backward integration, like a CRM and all, now has taken a front seat. So in forward facilitating the brands, right? People want to, real estate brands globally want to create memorable experiences for their prospects, so that, in this cloud of offerings, they are able to stand out.
Consultancy firm Anarock says that globally, conversion rates have risen to 40%, and much of this surge can be attributed directly to the use of new age tech as selling tools. Of course, this also means a jump in sales and revenues.
Earlier, they would take 6 months to buy a property by understanding things. With technology in place, the duration of buying cycle has reduced, because you have a lot of clarity, and that is even happening at the local sites also.
It also gives the builder a cost advantage in the long term, even if the technology is costly to begin with.
Here we are, and these technologies come in place, wherein the buyer can experience the entire sample house without actually being constructed by the developer. So that saves on the money, that saves on the time, that saves the resources also.
It's not just high-end luxury projects that are adopting such technology. Anarock says that mid-range and affordable housing projects account for 56% of new launches in the third quarter of 2022. And a lot of the buyers are millennials with whom such technology resonates. But experts say that technology is constantly evolving and expensive, so adoption has been relatively slow.
We've seen specific to India is real estate, as most people know, is a really family-owned business, right? And it is the second, third generation that has gone abroad, studied abroad, got exposed to new technologies, and they're coming back to India now and taking over the reins of the company. So these are the people who are really pushing for efficiencies, and efficiencies everywhere, not just back office efficiencies or financial efficiencies, but also sales efficiencies now. So that is where VR, virtual reality as a technology really, really helped. I've been surprised, pleasantly surprised. Tier 2 cities are actually more acceptable to trying out new technologies than Tier 1 cities.
This new trend has opened up a whole new market for startups in India.
Technology for real estate developers is no longer about hiring a website developer. It's now about immersive experiences and holograms. Stuff that lets a potential buyer walk around in a home that's still under construction miles away and play around with the interiors to get a real feel for the space. This has created a whole new high-growth sector. And while the Indian startup ecosystem has been complaining of a funding winter, PropTech enterprises have seen private investments jump 55% between 2009 and 2021. In Mumbai, Shraddha Tiwari.